This is Beth Brown coming to you from deep in the heart of West Texas at Griffin Art. And I'm here with another art chew. It's Wednesday. That's when I record it. Doesn't always go live on Wednesday, but we do what we can. Today, I don't have a bunch of products to talk about. I traveled over the weekend. It was wonderful. I got a chance to deliver a painting to a friend that was a custom piece, and that always feels kind of odd. I just say, I don't know all the time what value to place on pieces, and when folks ask me, would you do something custom for me? Of course, I'm always going to say yes, because I want people to have the things that I've made, and I want them to enjoy them. You do feel like you're giving a little bit of yourself away. Last week, I showed you a picture from my art journal that was a cityscape and told you about my friend that I was going to have buy a print. And he said, I don't want a print. I would like an original. I like the texture. I like owning an original. And so he gave me the dimensions, and I had a chance to do that for him. I was really glad, and he loved it, and I hope that, that he loves it for a long time. I don't look awesome today. No. We're having the floors cleaned upstairs today, so if you hear some banging around and some noise, that's what's happening. I don't know if you'll hear it a lot, but you might once they get started. They were still moving furniture when I came down. Hey guys, thanks. However, the piece I did for my friend did lead me into a little bit of what I wanted to talk about today. When you get started with mixed media, there are a lot of things to do besides art journaling. That's what I do the most. That's what I like the most because it's very freeing. It relieves me from the idea that things have to be perfect. If it's not perfect, you cover it up or start over. When you're working on a piece for a person, something that somebody has requested, there is a little bit more pressure because you want to get it right. You want it to be nice. You want it to be worth what they're paying for it. The piece that I did for my friend was all with palette knife. I didn't use any brushwork at all, and that led me to maybe we'll just talk about palette knives today. Okay, because I have a bunch. My favorite one is the Catalyst tool that I've showed you before, and I'm going to do a video I have already decided that I'm going to call a better gesso, a better way to gesso. I have started putting gesso on with this on my canvas or paper or whatever substrate I'm using because it's faster and I don't get a brush stroke in it. I don't like having a brush stroke in my gesso. Gesso is this stuff I've shown you before. I use Liquitex gesso. I also have the Liquitex gesso in clear. That one is white. Gesso primes your substrate. It is a combination of adhesive and plaster of Paris, I believe. You can look it up. I'm not 100% sure. However, it's going to make your substrate take paint. It's going to hold the paint instead of having your paint all soak in to the paper or canvas, and it's going to make it easier to move. So if I'm painting, not if I'm laying down paper, but if I'm painting, I will generally put down a layer of gesso first. And I like using this to do it with a nice swipe motion. I can get all the corners. I can eliminate the brush stroking. This is my favorite. And I guess you would call it a palette knife. This is by Catalyst. I have a couple of other Catalyst palette knives that I really love. Here they are. There's a round, there's an angle, and a flat. This is a number 5, this is a number 2, and this is a number 1. These are minis, and they're pretty short. They've got a lovely, lovely sort of rounded wooden handle. They're nice and light. They feel good in the hand. They clean up well. They lay down the paint well. You can manipulate different textures and things. I really, really like these. These are available at Hobby Lobby, most fine art stores. I have not seen them at Michael's. You can order them. These are excellent. Well, I moved that light You can tell the difference. Shiny. Some other palette knives that are available are metal, wooden-handled palette knives. This is a Master's Touch, which is the Hobby Lobby brand. It's got a wooden handle, metal angled tip. This is a Daler and Rowney, which has got sort of the rounded bottom and rounded tip. And this is Global Art, made in Italy. Who knew? And this one has been well loved. As you can see, it's got a more defined but still rounded tip. And this nice angle here in the middle to help you get right down into whatever it is that you're doing. And the most budget-friendly option, and I've used these for a long time. I think I've had 2 sets, which are the plastic ones that you can buy in a combination pack. And you've got the angle, the flat round, another angle. I think this one probably came from a different pack. The diamond, the skinny diamond. This one I use a lot for laying molding paste through stencils because it's got the angle and you can get right down in there and wipe it in. And then just a plain knife. So that's palette knives. Those are all that I have. It's probably more than any one person needs to own, to tell you the truth. And if you don't have a palette knife, you can use things like cardboard, cardstock. I use quite frequently a little card. This one also has been well loved. You can see all the paint coming off of it. This has a texture thing on the end. These are by Faber-Castell. I believe they call them texture plates. I have them on a ring here. Texture plates, and they come in a pack with a bunch of little cards, and each has a different texture on the sides. I use these mostly for jelly plating, to make designs in a jelly plate. But this one I will use to scrape paint. For whatever reason, I chose that one. Okay, what else? That back. I wanted to talk a bit about substrates. The painting I did for my friend, I had a chance to use a substrate that I had never used before. The ones that I had used for a very long time, outside of paper and working in a journal, were these canvas panels. This is an 8x10 canvas panel from Hobby Lobby. It's flat. It's rigid. It's pre-primed for acrylics, but I usually gesso again. The pre-priming is not always awesome. But the canvas does give it a slight texture. I don't always love that. Sometimes I like it. These are easily framed. They're easily shipped. Another substrate that I've used before is this is a 6x6. Is it 6x6? Yeah. Gallery wrapped canvas. Gallery wrapped is a little deeper. You've seen the ones that are about half this. I have some of those as well. But here again, the canvas gives you texture, which I don't always love. I have some of these in my stash. Another substrate for mixed media that's good is wood. A lot of people I know use wood. A lot of videos that demo they will use wood. This is from Walmart, I think. It was a couple dollars. and is it going to tell me what kind of wood it is? I think it's balsa. But they take paper well if you're going to adhere paper to it. Paint soaks way, way into this. It takes several coats of paint for my satisfaction. And they're always really rough. You don't have to sand them. I would. Excuse me, I totally burped. Right in my own video. That's so disgusting. I'm pretty disgusting. But I would sand them off. I would sand the rough pieces just with a piece of sandpaper, nothing complicated. And I don't have a piece of what I really wanted to show you. I don't think I do. No, I don't. Which was mixed media board. I used a piece of Canson mixed media board and it was wonderful. It's got a paper-like surface, not a whole lot of texture. It's nice and thick. You can easily trim it. Uh, it took my friend's painting beautifully, and I think that's going to be my new one of choice, my new substrate of choice if I'm doing a piece for a friend. Projects. I haven't had a lot of projects this week. I'm finishing up my postcards for a mail art swap. This one's my favorite so far. Boy, I changed that light and it's jacking everything up. There. Let's give love. It's just a postcard. This is a group that I'm sending Valentine's to, and we didn't say that they had to be there by Valentine's Day, just before the month was up. This is another one that's in that group that says gratitude. I used a jelly plate on this. And do I have another one? And then I have this one. I like it. I like those colors together. And this one, it says love is all you need. So I have a few more of those to finish up and get addressed and sent out. I got my first one from that swap yesterday and I was so excited. I meant to bring it down here. I think I'm going to keep those on a jump ring and just keep all of those together in one place. What else do I have to talk to you about today? You can still see the big chicken in the background. Back there. See? There he is. It's my daughter's. I have no idea why it's down here. The stuffing is coming out of it. That's awesome. I think that's everything as far as products and projects. Short one today. I'm looking all around. I don't really see much. Oh, I can show you this other project. I almost forgot. My friend Vicki Ross, who I talked about last week, has a video which I'll link to of something that she put together called a Junque doodle journal, and it was a notebook that she put together with a bunch of different papers in it to doodle on. She put scrapbook papers and watercolor paper and pattern paper and different things to work on it, and was sort of compact so she could carry it around with her. And I wanted to do that because I have tons and tons of paper that I'm never, ever going to use. I'm always looking for ways to use it up. So I found a chipboard 3-ring binder, and let me tell you the dimensions of it. It's 8.5 by 8.5, so it's square. It was plain chipboard. It was by Meyer Road. I found it at Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance. And so I took it and put some paper over it. It says New York up here. I'll tell you about New York someday. It's one of my favorite places. I love to talk about New York. But I covered it with some different papers, and I gave it a gesso wash to sort of push it back into the background. I used washi tape on the spine, which, even though it says it's tape, it's not tape. It's going to come up. So I used gel medium underneath it to adhere it really good, scruffed it up with some paint and gesso, and there's the back. Inside, I used different papers in a stripe. I did not push this back with gesso. I may still, I haven't decided, and I painted that center portion black. So there's the binder itself, and then inside, it had these really thick, heavy chipboard pages. They're super thick. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 8 of these in there, and I'm going to use these for dividers. So I took one of the dividers. I covered it with paper. This is parchment, calligraphy parchment that I had hanging around. I don't know that it's going to hold up that great for a whole lot other than doodling, because my calligraphy is always a work in progress. Handwriting is always a work in progress, isn't it? I covered the edges with some washi tape and gel mediumed it down, put that same tape here. And then I found this cool little thing in a journaling video called a tab punch. Yeah, this was cool. It was about $15. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. And I punched a tab. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So I can label my dividers. And so since I put parchment on the outside of here, I measured out some parchment paper in different colors to go in that section to doodle on, Zentangle, and which is basically what I like to do when I'm relaxing and chilling out and don't want to look at the TV or my phone. So that is a project that is happening. I'm going to put some pattern papers in there like Vicki did. I'm going to put, I don't know if I'll use watercolor or not. I have some Bristol and some vellum and different things. But I will link to Vicki's video because hers is awesome. And follow her on Instagram. She posts pictures of her doodles. So it's very cool. I'll link to those in the description. And that's really it as far as projects. We had a great Kraaft It Live yesterday with my friends at the Craft Shack. My friend, an artist I really like, her name is CeeCee, was the guest. I will link to CeeCee's channel, which I've done before. And she and Heather, who runs the Craft Shack, had some pretty great announcements today. So I'll let them tell you about that, and I'll put some links in the description and always on the blog. I try to put my video on my personal blog with active links. That's not always the easiest thing to do here. So go over to my website and check out the blog. And I'm working to update that more regularly as well. Thoughts? Any thoughts today? Nothing big. I just have stuff to do. I have an online class to do today. I consider Kraaft It Live on Tuesdays an online class as well. So I'm going to work on those. Lenten stuff is going okay. I've been able to read and Bible journal almost every day. It was a little tough while we were traveling, but I did get some of it done, so that's great. I haven't eaten any pasta. Hooray for small victories. And that's all I got today. We're at 17 minutes. It's a little short for me. I was really long-winded last week. So, have a great week. Get your hands dirty. Do something creative. And as always, remember to give love.